We're live on Facebook. Are we? Yeah. Wonderful. And if you're gonna open your Facebook, you should be able to see us on the Internal Compass page.
אני לא רואה נראה לי.
אני חושבת ששיתפתי.
מדהים. גם אני. אוקיי. Great. One second. Awesome. All right, guys. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So, welcome everybody. I'm really happy to be here. This is the second panel of the Internal Compass Shalom 2020 Jazz Festival, which is basically us saying goodbye to the greatest year, 2020, which we're going to talk about now. We have with us very, very special group of people that I'm so happy to have here. So I will introduce them. From Laramie, Wyoming, we have Miss Lihi Haruvi with us. Hello, Lihi.
Hello.
From Mitzpe Ramon, we have both Jackie Faye and Nathan Blankett. It looks like we're far away from each other, but Jackie, Nati, and I are 2 minutes walk from each other. So that's not that far. And from Warsaw, Poland, we have Mr. Adam Zagorski. Hello. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining. I just want to say before we start that we do see you on the chat, and feel free to write to us. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, it's really nice when you share them with us, because we want to hear you and we want to hear from you. So thanks for joining us. Let me start by asking you a quick question. How was your 2020? And maybe Lihi, you want to start?
Sure. I think it was mostly a surprise for all of us. I think it gave us new perspective on the world and about life, and made us question a lot of things. I think it's been also very challenging and difficult, especially as a performing musician. But also it's a good time to introspect and think. And so it's kind of a reset. So with all the harsh reality and the death toll, we have to, in every situation, to kind of think what we can learn. So I'm grateful for 2020, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Jackie?
Yeah, I think my 2020 transformed a lot over the course of the year. Once we all went into lockdown, I think actually, given the topic of this panel, I think for the beginning of the year and the lockdown and everything, I was having a great time because I had all my things at home, and I was able to continue working and recording from home, and things were, I was actually enjoying the change. Like Lee said, obviously, that's my personal experience, being aware that other people in the world, were going through really, really difficult things. And yeah, as the year progressed, I slowly started to internalize also the challenges of kind of the new world we're living in, and how difficult it is for everybody, and definitely identified particularly how difficult it is as a musician or creative artist to keep my head up and stay positive and try to keep doing things. So
Yeah. Adam.
Yes, welcome everybody. So my 2020 was weird. Started up from a big trip actually to Bali to record an album over there in Indonesia, and then suddenly all this stuff came in. So I mean all this virus spread it, and then we had the first lockdown. I was telling to people that prepare for the second one, and some people didn't believe it, but it happened. And actually it made me to learn a lot of stuff in home recording and in studio. So actually we are all musicians which we're trying to fit into the new situation, and we try our best, I hope. Yeah. And 2020 was weird, but actually I liked it. So yeah.
Nati.
Yeah, so for me, it was challenging, but it was also kind of a blessing because I am kind of a home dweller. I've always been that way, and kind of like spending most of my time in front of the computer as it is. So career-wise, out except for the fact that, of course, concerts were happening less. Although once the whole Zoom happened, that started as well in a weird way, like no clapping after you finish a song, and that's like a bit awkward. But so yeah, a lot of personal stuff. Like my parents are old old older, and so that was like less staying at home when I visit them, and obviously stuff like that. But I relate to the fact that it got me. I finally bought more gear that we're gonna talk about later to make like my home studio more happening, and like to keep working from here. Yeah.
Cool. I think something interesting when talking about 2020 and technology, I think it's really been the year that technology proved valuable more than ever, in terms of like we really finally at once had to take advantage of technology, and it was amazing to see what technology can do. And at the same time, it's really the year that I think we all deeply understood that no technology in the world is ever going to substitute human connection and like meeting face to face and the physical stuff. So I think this complexity is really something that makes me curious about where this is going to go from here. I feel like everybody were always talking about the future, always talking about technology, always talking about how you can learn in Zoom, and then all of a sudden everybody have to do that like immediately, and then everybody were like, "Oh, really? Yeah, we can do that. That's even not that hard, but like, is it really good?" So I think when we're talking about 2020, there is really that aspect, and then there is also obviously what we're going to go very soon into, which is like the more specific details of like what it's been for you, the technology side, and then just life. And I really want to hear from you about all of those things because you are fascinating people, and I want to hear your thoughts. Maybe I'll ask you a little bit of a silly question, but still, what's your favorite toy that you bought in 2020? Like if you have to go through 2020 once again and you need to buy a piece of equipment, what would it be? And maybe Adam, do you want to start?
I think one of the best tools which I got this year was my interface, which I bought. Of course, this is the most needed thing you need to start your home studio. So if you got it in a good way, then you can choose. I chose Focusrite Scarlett 18i20, third generation of this tool. Should I share some screens or something like that? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna try this right now. Wait a moment. This is my screen. So, ah, so I'm prepared here with some stuff which I bought, and yeah, this is the point. This is the interface. I don't know. Can you see my mouse over there? But yeah, you can see it. So it has 8 different plugs. You can plug your 8 microphones. Plus, you got a talkback, so you can actually hear yourself with the studio engineer. If I'm an engineer, then these musicians, which are in the separate rooms, they can hear each other, and we can talk together. And actually, I wouldn't change this for nothing else. So that is the tool which I actually like the most from these tools, which I bought in 2020 this year. Okay, so thank you.
I think I want to ask you something because I think that many people in their 2020 they bought the stuff that they need to record themselves,
Yes.
but you bought the stuff that you need to record a whole band, and
Uh,
then yeah,
some time ago, I started to collect some equipment, which actually was not only this one, but also different preamps. So actually, I took Digimax DP PreSonus, of course, PreSonus Digimax DP88, and it's like another 8 channels you can use with connecting with ADAT technology. So it's like with light speed, and actually then you can record in home, fully record in home for 16 different channels. So I actually do that. Sometimes it's possibility to plug even 8 channels more, so actually you can record for 24 channels at all. But in my opinion, this is for the jazz band, like let's say quintet, quartet, 16 channels is totally enough. So I could do it in actually 5 different separate rooms here, so there was no other possibility to hear each other's from different microphones. There was like clear sound in all the microphones. So this is what I bought. So this is the main interface is this one, and another interface I used actually to record drums is this one. So it's PreSonus. Yeah.
great. Nati, what about you?
So for me, I was kind of set up with an interface that I bought some years ago uh, when I was in the US. So I was all set with that. But in terms of mics, I just purchased a few months ago this mic, which is Audio Technica 4050. I bought a pair of these, so that kind of opened the world of recording drums traditionally with like decent overhead mics, and actually I actually didn't experience how a good mic can make a difference until I bought those. And so yeah, they're great. I use them on drums. I use them on pretty much everything I record: vocals, guitars. Uh, yeah, so that's my new addition. I just keep discovering new ways to use them. So it's pretty great.
Awesome. Jackie, what about you?
So I actually kind of had quite a lot of things that I used already. And I didn't get to a place where I thought I wanted to buy more microphones for my home studio, because basically I had the things that I felt already worked. But surprisingly, because of the whole way 2020 is, and all of these live videos, and everybody suddenly, obviously I was continuing to record, but there were all these Facebook lives and a cappella things, and suddenly everybody wanted to have video with high quality audio. And there I got stuck. I was like, okay, well, I can take a video on my iPhone or with my iPad and then record to my computer, and then I'll have to sync it up, and everything just seemed really complicated. And so something that hadn't been interesting to me before this year was USB mics. And I ended up discovering, I'll quickly share my screen, a USB mic from Audio-Technica. It's their 2020 USB. The one I will show you now is actually not the one that I was using. You can see this AT2020 USB Plus. I didn't actually get to purchase this. I was borrowing a friend of mine's who had the USB-I, which is specifically for iPad, iPhone, whatever. It has a Mac cable. And unfortunately, this summer, when I wanted to purchase this microphone, Audio-Technica decided to discontinue the USB-I, and they came out with a USB Plus, which requires an adapter for Mac. So if I could redo 2020 again, I would buy the 2020 USB-I before it was discontinued. And by the way, when I wanted to buy this USB Plus in the US, it was completely sold out of everywhere. B&H, Sweetwater, Amazon. It seems like the entire world experienced what I experienced, and everybody wanted to buy this USB mic. It's a phenomenal mic. I did several recordings. I just basically hook it into, if you have like an iPad, you just hook it in here, and the iPad or tablet or whatever powers the mic and records with it. So if I just go in to take a video of myself, it's automatically using that mic. Fantastic, high quality. Anytime I needed to, you see this, maybe when we continue talking, I'll explain what this super fancy looking mic is, but under no circumstances was it beneficial for me to record with this and sync it up later when I had that USB mic. Fantastic mic, and reasonably priced.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. Lihi?
Yeah. So, by the way, Jackie, you're talking about like the practicality aspect. I definitely have a few things to say about that later when we talk more about interfaces and mics. But actually, to the first question, what is my favorite item? So it's right here on my head, in my ears, and that are these headphones. And let me also share screen with you. And this is by far the best purchase I've made this year, the DT770 Pro. And besides of the fact that the sound is superior, and the fact that also teaching a lot of classes and you really need to listen to so much detail, I don't know if you can tell if you go inside, and you can see also to this part right here, this thing is so incredibly soft. And what happened when we became online is that, you can start your day at 9 and finish it at 10 p.m., having like 13 hours in front of the computer and listening to things. So the previous headphones that I had, my ears would be literally on fire. And I see Jackie's moving her head like, and also Adam, right? Everybody knows that a lot of time with headphones can be quite intense and difficult. So to me, this was a game changer. So those headphones, I cannot recommend them enough. They are by far our favorite item in the home studio setting.
Awesome. So, what kind of stuff did you guys do in your studio? And just feel free to jump in.
So for me, I had the chance to record a few saxophone tracks, which required, again, to figure out, what would be a good setup and to get the best sound that we could with what we had. That's one thing. And then another thing would be, of course, being also a teacher and educator to be able to, again, hear projects and be able to communicate. So I can definitely talk about the things that I used during this time, and also maybe play an example a little bit. Sure. So what we had, I think, again, similar to Jackie, we're really vibing. We had a lot of stuff in our disposal, and we just wanted to figure out what would be the best way to kind of put them together. So what I've been doing, I've been using a condenser mic that we had, and I recorded it together with another channel with a dynamic mic. And kind of the combination of these two allowed me to get like in more of a better picture of the saxophone tone. So I'll show you the microphones that I've been using, and then we'll hear a little bit. So here is the Beta 57A. By the way, the SM57 is probably one of my favorite mics. But again, we kind of had those things, but here Jackie's showing it. It's like, sometimes I remember a recording session before COVID, somebody put like a $3,000 mic and then the 57 right next to it. And when we listened later in the studio, honest to God, I was like, I want this SM57 sound. So definitely Shure makes excellent mics. So this is the dynamic mic that we have. And this is the also Shure KSM27. And this is what I've been using to record some saxophone sounds. So let me share with you this track and you get a taste of the sound. Share screen. And here's a little bit of soprano. Anyway, so you can hear a little bit of the alto and the soprano, and that's been the combination of these two mics. As far as how to use these mics, there are we have an interface. We actually have two interfaces, and in the end of the day, I've been using one more than the other. And let me show you a little bit of that. So we have the Mbox Pro. The Mbox I've had since the days that I studied film scoring, and that was recommended at the time. And it has also different kinds of channels, and you can do a lot with it. But in actuality and practicality, we've been using this one, the Audio Box, the i2, and it is a USB also. And in the end of the day, it was just like a quicker kind of option, a faster option. You don't have to put like a lot of different combinations of cables. It was just really straightforward. So although we can have a little bit of, more complexity of kind of wavelength through the M box, in the end of the day, the USB interface has been the one that we've been using and I've been using. So practicality, I think, is also something when people out there looking for gear want to think about, depending of where you are. I am, mostly instrumentalist and playing and doing things. Somebody like Adam that actually does, in addition to playing a lot of engineering type of work, probably maybe have a different take on this. But I found that to be very, very helpful. So this is my 2 cents on recording and what I've been using.
Awesome. Anybody else wants to share, like, just what kind of stuff you did?
Yeah, so for me, Adam, okay, I'll start.
Go first.
Okay, cool. Um, I've kind of been doing like it's like in two different genres which I've been dealing with. One is like more acoustic, jazz oriented stuff where I actually play the drums and need to get like as much details as I can. Um, and in that regard, I really had to like experiment a lot, and I don't think I got to the point where I can where I'm super happy and I have a go-to setting to record drums, because I don't know if you guys know, but like for drums, there's numerous ways you can record it, because you're actually talking about, when you talk about drums, you're talking about like multiple instruments that are assembled into a kit. And whereas you actually play everything as one instrument, and some people actually like, you can actually capture everything with just using one mic. And a good example would be, I mean, the Beatles wasn't recorded with one mic, but it was recorded with 3 mics on just the drums. So that would be one way to go about it. Going through like more contemporary recordings where there's like multiple mics on each and every drum, plus 2 overheads, plus room mics, so you can get easily into like eight mics on the drums. And whenever you have more mics, then you get into phase issues where I'm not gonna go into that. And plus drums being super loud in a room like this, which is like sort of treated. You can see the panels that I made, which kind of take care of some issues. But the loudest you go, the more room you're gonna get. So that introduces more issues. So I'm still like trying to learn all that stuff. But yeah, so these the mics I showed you earlier, can show you again. This one that I use for overheads, I can play you a quick example. This is a song called March by Noriaki Hosoya, which was introduced to me, a super sweet guy from Japan. And this is a collaboration we did with Haruka Yabuno, which was on yesterday's panel. So this was actually recorded in this room on this drum kit, you can see. And I basically used these mics as overheads, plus there's this mic I'm using, which is that's I can't remember, that's MD421, but by Sennheiser, and which is originally a broadcaster mic, but is very versatile. Usually you can see them on toms, like on drum kit on toms. I used it on the bass drum because it kind of gets some lows. And then I used what Lihi said and Jackie showed, like that's the mic you can find in every musician's house. That's this one, which right now is actually on my kick as well, to show you how versatile it is. And with just like the right treatment, it's amazing, really. So let me show you. I'll play you this, which is March. Can you hear this?
Time, space, in the slightest blink of your eyes. Morning will bring me back with the melody.
So this is softer, like with brushes, easier in this
I
room.
see the season drift away.
When I go to cymbals, I'm not gonna play the whole song, it's kind of long, but like most of what you're hearing is like most of the character of the drums comes out of these guys. So that's one example. And then so I was talking about two worlds I'm kind of like dealing with. So that's one, the acoustic, actually recording drums, and then I've been kind of going into like more pop and like more heavily produced songs, and then in this case you have the liberty of replacing samples. Obviously I'm like, you can't really tell, but I'm using an 18-inch kick drum, so I'm kind of in the process of maybe purchasing a larger kick for more rock productions. But right now I'm recording with this, and whenever I want to go for a bigger kick sound, I just like have endless samples, and I just like go in the program. I use Pro Tools specifically, and I just go and like put a kick that I like to go on top, and maybe later I can show you an example of some stuff.
Nati, if you want, I can also, I don't know if it's appropriate for now, but Nati recorded something in this kind of pop vibe that I sent off to be mixed, and somebody else did exactly what he's talking about, who basically swapped out the snare, because the snare was the thing that was basically having too much room. So if you want, I can also play a small chunk of like the instrumental part from that, which would be cool because it's something you recorded right there in your studio.
Yeah, I would love to. So first of all, let me tell you the story behind it. I recorded that at home. For this purpose, I felt that it needed like a larger kick to get like more punch and more rock
That is so
vibes. So I actually
violent.
borrowed. What? So violent?
You said kicks and punches. So
Oh yeah. So I actually borrowed a larger kick for that purpose, but
I didn't know that.
yeah. Shout out to Daniel, our student here, great trumpet player and also drummer. So he loaned me his kick. But in the process of learning the skill of recording, I apparently did a mistake of using a condenser mic to record my snare drum. So it did get a lot of other stuff that are not what you wanna get out of your snare mic. So So yeah, Jackie, you want to tell the
Yeah. So first of all, it's so fun. I guess this is something that happens also. A lot of artists did this during lockdown. Is I just pulled out some song that I recorded 7 years ago with a colleague and dear friend of mine, Talia Klieger, and basically was like, hey, what do we have to put on this? Drums and a bass, and let's just like finish this song. Why not? And so I asked Nati if he'd be willing to record. And he did. And then fast forward several months, we finally sent it off to another friend of a colleague's in England who did the mix. And then we dealt with this snare issue. And over the course of the mix, I sent also to Nati, and he was like, no, that's a bad snare. And so we kept swapping out the snare to try to figure out if it was nice. I'll play you just the instrumental solo towards the end of it, and you guys can decide if we picked a good snare sound or not. But the drums that you hear, actually Nati recorded right there in his room. So let me quickly just share. I hope I have it hooked up at the right spot. And if you guys could just give me a little up or down if the volume's too much or too little. So there's a little taste of it. Sorry, that one, I think that was not the mix I wanted to play actually, because that has the tambourine a little bit too loud. Sorry about that. But then you get a sense of what's possible to do at home.
Should I tell something? Okay.
Yeah, yes, Nati, that's it, right? For
Yeah,
now.
more later.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Awesome stuff. Adam, I know you set up a whole studio in your house during this time.
Yes, it was one of the biggest projects of this year. Was working 3.5 months for making like a 1-hour concert, which was based from 25 Polish musicians, which are living not only in Poland but all over the world. So we needed to make, of course, we got some grant from the government to make this project. So actually, it's a good thing to start up with writing your government to support something like that and donate. And of course, we invited with Maciej Kądziela, the saxophone player, we invited 25 Polish musicians, which some of them they were recording in Auckland in New Zealand. Some of them they were recording in New York, in Sweden, in Poland, in Denmark, a lot of places, different places. So actually I can try to share the screen, and yeah, we have here like a big Ehud here, but so what is it? It was like a virtual concert, which was more than 1 hour, and I want to show you how it looked like. I hope. Tell me if it's too loud or not, but yeah, let's try it. So everything was recorded all the parts were recorded in phones, and then I took all these parts and mixed it. So there was like more than 80 tracks to mix. So as you see, I recorded on like 10 microphones or more in the drums for understanding. About more than 3 microphones. Yeah, everyone was in home. So everyone from the musicians were in their places. I mixed it all.
The
like music for
by znaleźć szczęścia odrobinę.
let's say more jazzy.
Marzenia wszystko można mieć, więc tak mi dziewczyno. Masz swego chłopca, wieczory jesienne, mądra jesteś.
Okay, so this was the project, and this concert is 1 hour and 2 minutes long, and it took me like 3.5 months to work with my friends to make this happen. Also,
Adam, can you send me a link for the full video if somebody wants to watch it from our
of course,
viewers here?
of course. So let's. Yeah, it probably is gonna be. Yeah, I will send it in a moment. Okay, of course. So I mixed it with my friends here, also at home, and there was like 80 tracks to mix. And actually, it's really hard because some of these musicians were having different intonation on the horns. So actually, you have to even go to total details, like you have to tune up one quarter note, and then actually it's a really great ear training lesson because you have to really fastly discover who is lower or who is higher from the whole band. And as you can see, there's like 20 different people. So yeah, so this was a really hard job to make. Of course, it was really worth to make it. And what can I say more? Maybe I can go to the Logic Pro, and this is a different session actually. So this is the session I did on the Logic because I'm working in this program. And as you can see here, we have a bass drum, let's say 16 channels, and that's it. That's totally enough for the quintet. And if you don't mind, I will just try to play something for you. It's like the quintet, a little bit like a jazzy quintet, but yeah, just to take a listen. Okay. Try to. Oh, okay. So what I want to show you is, for example, just only drums for now. Sorry, maybe it sounds weird, but I just want to show you how the drums sound. So as you can see here, we got 7 channels on the drums. So I think, yeah. Is it loud or? So actually these drums are Yamaha drums. I've custom hybrid oak drums from Yamaha 2019. And yeah, so now I want to play with a full band. This stuff is needed to make this. But we've been all together at my place. As you heard on the drums, there is nobody else than just the drummer. Bass is from the line, so actually you can see saxophone player is totally separated, guitarist is separated, piano is separate. So, if you don't mind, also I want to try to so maybe more I will show you later, yeah, but so as you can see, you can record actually on 16 tracks, and it's totally enough, and you can do it from your home. So this is a really good idea to actually, I really loved this year. It was super progressive, in my opinion. There was a lot of things to learn and how to mix and everything, and of course I'm not a professional sound engineer, but we all need to face actually these problems that we are getting into, being engineer and being your manager and being a good musician, and you have to listen to other people, and you have to post all this stuff in internet, otherwise we're not gonna survive. So yeah, so thanks.
Yeah, cool. Jackie, what did you do? What kind of stuff did you do in your home studio?
Well, it kind of depends on when. Lately, I guess this year, if I kind of is starting from March, I guess. One of the first things I did, you can actually find, it's something I did for our school. You can find it on the Internal Compass Facebook page, was basically creating playbacks for our students to be able to record while they were stuck at home so that we could continue rehearsing. I think eventually the whole world really got on this bandwagon and we started seeing things like this everywhere. But yeah, so a lot of my initial work was recording playbacks, sending it to the students, getting tracks back, and then mixing it on my computer. I personally work with Ableton Live for everything, including mixing, not just for live. It's just whatever the program that is comfortable for me to use, and I just like it for everything. I think a lot, maybe all of you can kind of relate to this, that when you're going through the process of either buying equipment or software or anything, a lot of times we kind of overextend ourselves, or we try different things. And kind of what Lihi was talking about is you do extra things, and then you kind of just go back to what's, functional for you. So, I can pay for a subscription to Pro Tools, but honestly, if I can do everything that I need, if I'm not doing complicated mixes and it's really just, simple adjustments, cut and paste here and there, then it's just easier for me to do it on Ableton. And in addition to that, I guess I could play you guys a little bit of that if you want. Although that means I have to open up Facebook. Oh dear. You know what? I don't have it in front of me right now, and I don't want to start looking up things online, but you all can check out the Facebook page and just go. It's one of the most, I think, popular videos on our Internal Compass page. And then other than that, I did a lot of recording at home of cello stuff. And so when I record myself at home, I basically got to the point where, like Lihi talked about, kind of doing this 2 different type of mic recording. For anything that I get asked to record professionally, I record with this guy, which is my big, large diaphragm condenser that I invested in a long time ago. It's the Aventyn BV1, which, let me quickly show you what that is. Just one sec. Sorry, tech stuff. Okay. Can you guys see that? So that's a pretty serious large diaphragm condenser, which probably the most serious thing about it, honestly, is this crazy box that it comes in. Which, like, if you ever wanted to buy something for the purpose of glam, this would be the thing. Anyway, it was recommended to me by a colleague, and yeah, so I invested in that a long time ago. And then I also go ahead and record with my DPA. So a DPA is a performance mic. It's meant for live performance. But with the cello, and especially in a small room like the one that I'm in, it gives me a lot of control. If anybody doesn't, sorry, I don't know if you can see the whole thing. The DPA is basically like a clip mic. I'll just show it to you here. It's like this little guy. And it just clips right onto my cello with that little thing.
I've definitely heard of this mic before many times.
Yeah. So it just sticks on right there. And so basically anybody who called and was like, hey, Jackie, I need a cello line, which happened quite a bit over the course of the year. I just hooked up both of those and would send them both, because this microphone tends to have ironically for vocals, it has a bit of a dark sound, but for cello, it's actually quite bright. And my DPA picks up all these low bass kind of heavy things. So one thing, I'll just stop this. One thing that I did this year was a friend of mine just kind of sent over a good friend of mine, Tanel Goldberg, sent me over a 9-minute long song and was like, hey, write me some cello for this whole thing. And that's always a huge project. And that was one thing I did over the Corona time. And I can just play the very end of it, which was kind of like this big cello orchestra, which you'll hear all mixed up. This mic and the other mic, somebody did the mix. Let me share the end of that with you. And please let me know if it's too loud or too quiet, if you would be so kind. Just play the very end of it. So that's just one example of like just tons of cello that somebody wanted. Basically, it's kind of, all cello thing happening. But I will add one other thing that I do with all of this equipment, which I think is a really big deal for me, at least, is that I chose to buy things that are small and basically are useful for me only. Like I don't record 8-track things. I hopefully maybe one day I'll invest in that, but because I have equipment that's really compact. Sorry, hang on one second.
Maybe I can intersect.
Sure. Oh. Sorry, my YouTube continued to commercials, but I didn't close the link and it just kept going. But yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, in addition to what you're saying, is that it seems to me like anything else with instruments, that it's a very personal thing to choose your gear. Like Adam, you're using Logic. Nathan, you're using Pro Tools, right? And Jackie, you're using Ableton. I started with Pro Tools, now moving to Logic, and it's just so different,
Adam's cheering you on for the crossover. So anyway, just to finish what I was saying about the fact that all of this is transportable, is that every year I fly back to the US for about 2 months, and I just put the stuff I need in my suitcase, and I continued to do recordings from over there with the same stuff that I didn't take this guy because you saw the case, it's really big. But in terms of my sound card, my headphones, which speaking of which, this was like my first purchase here, which is like Audio-Technica M50s, which speaking of pain on your ear, they're like 11-year-old headphones. Yeah, they last forever if you want to. It was my first thing I bought, the first thing I invested in. You can see this is all like peeling off already. They're pretty awful after about 2 hours.
Guys, your next headphones are these ones. Let me tell you.
It's on there.
Jealous, very jealous at the
Very jealous, very jealous. So anyway, so I flew back, continued to work, and actually I brought my small sound card home. I brought my DPA home. I brought my headphones home, and that was enough to allow me to even do live stream concerts from home. Like I joined in a few times. I did a live concert alone, and I did a live concert with a friend of mine. And just the fact that I had these small things kind of made it really possible to hook myself up anywhere, not just necessarily in this room, which I think for some of us can be really useful. I think, yeah, I'll stop there. I mean, I can maybe, I don't know if we'll have time, but I can play something that I recorded using only my small things running around all over the place. But I think that's enough for now. So that's kind of, at least this year, what I did that's about it.
Awesome. Wow. Super cool. Yeah, I'll say, I think out of all of you, I'm the only guy here not using a Mac. And yeah, that's a big thing, I think. But
I'm sorry
that,
for you.
it's okay. It's mutual. I'm sorry for you too. But I think I wanna. It brings me to my next question with it, which is like, was there any software that you guys found out in 2020 that you didn't use before, or did you just like keep going with what you had before? Was there any piece of like, did you buy any software? I can tell you, for example, that I bought two software that I'm like super proud of, which is one is the East West Composer Cloud, which is just like a bunch of virtual instruments which are amazing. And the second one that I found extremely useful in this time is the Adobe Creative Cloud, which has the Premiere Pro and a bunch of the Adobe suite. But like, just wondering about you guys, if there is any software that you guys got during 2020.
I can tell you one small thing is that, for example, with the sound card of Focusrite, you have this software which is called Focusrite Control, and over there you can switch all the. Actually, on this card you can have 4 different layers for the earphones for everyone, like separate lines for a separate mix in each other person headphones. And also this was really really helpful, is that actually you can use both Focusrite Control and Logic Remote on your iPad device. So then actually you can walk in during the between the rooms, and actually you don't need to go back to this computer every time, to the main computer. So this is really helpful tool. For example, here I have this Focusrite Control. This is really easy app, totally, and I don't know if it's running right now. Maybe I have like a cable connection right now, so I cannot connect it. But believe me that this app helped me a lot. That I didn't need to walk million times between the room to go back to the computer to push the recording, and to push the button of recording. So yeah, this is a small app, but it's super helpful. And yeah, so this was really surprising me. And also you can have a talk back to all the people, and you just go with your iPad, and you can just walk with your iPad, and then you push the talkback, and everyone can hear each other. So this is really great between the rooms. So what I should invest in next year, I think it would be cameras and split screens in the TVs, like small TVs around the rooms, that we can see each other, like TT CCTV, like this kind of that you share your screen, and then everyone can see each other also. So this is also important, because when you give some signs, sometimes it's impossible when you can't see each other, like about some form in the tune. So yeah, this is the next investment. But okay, that was about the software. Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I will just say that it was, by the way, what I said about Windows, it's of course it's a joke. Windows makes awesome computers, but Macintosh as well. And that brings me also to the question between Pro Tools or Logic, to people that are listening and kind of debating between those two. So let me say that both of them are like industry standard software. Both of them, you can do really great things. The thing about Pro Tools that is good is it works for both platforms. You can work with Windows, you can work with Macintosh. And the thing about it also, you can really zoom in. I remember taking classes, film scoring classes. We really went inside so deeply. And Nati, you can speak on that a little bit more about the benefits of Pro Tools. So it's really awesome. What made me kind of convert into Logic that Adam is using is that if you are a Mac owner, it's a little bit more intuitive. It's a little bit more friendly. It's like, if people are familiar with GarageBand, you know, it's kind of like the step up version that allows you to do so many things. So again, it's just a little bit more intuitive. Oftentimes I find Mac devices being that way. So again, if people are debating between these two, if you have a Windows, probably Pro Tools is the way to go. Or Ableton, I don't know a lot about it, but Jackie, I've heard you say amazing things about it as well. So people that are debating, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Cool. Nati, Jackie, anything? You don't have to. We can.
I can share, first of all, in terms of VSTs. So, if you to whoever doesn't know what VST is just like a virtual instrument. So I actually bought. Uh, First of all, that was a process that I went through of actually starting to buy stuff rather than like having hacked stuff that like friends installed, and then I end up with like endless plugins and stuff that I don't even know where to start, and so like right now I'm like, I think I can say I'm kind of like 100% legit, and whatever I have I own. And aside of that, I can like sleep uh, uh, with a sound mind. It also like reduces the stuff I have, and I know I handpicked all the stuff that I use, and I have it for a reason. So one thing I'll show you that it's really cool is I bought the V collection by Arturia, and they make a lot of great emulations of old synths and keyboards. So just to show you what one of them looks like, let me share the screen. Hold on. Can you all see that? So this is an emulation of Mellotron, which is actually what you might know it. I can play you a little bit, but it might be a little harsh. Can you hear that? So what it is, it's an old, it's used on, famously used on strawberry fields. So what it is, it's actually like the first sampling. It's just like I can open the back of it, and you can see it's actually, there's a tape on which like flutes or strings were recorded, and it's actually whenever you press a note, it plays that note. So it gives like a really nice old vibe. So that's only one example. There's a lot of like DX7s and Solina and stuff that I'm just learning about right now. You can see the list here. Wurlitzers, synclavier. So that's in terms of VSTs. Now, regarding we were talking, Lee, you were talking about softwares. So yeah, I'm using Pro Tools, and one thing I can say about Pro Tools is, although I know it very well by now and I'm pretty quick on it, it is painful to be creative on it, because like everything you want to do takes like you have to like whenever like in if some of you have like experience on Logic, you want to create a bus, you want to create a reverb, you just like hit a button pretty much and you have like a separate like track and everything is like crowded. In Pro Tools you have to like, unless you have like a preset that you like a template, it's really painful to kind of get into the flow. And although if you're doing mixed stuff, then you know what you're doing, and like you're a professional guy that does mixing specifically and stuff like that, then yeah, I would recommend Pro Tools. Otherwise, I would go with Logic, or I was kind of surprised. I recently met a producer who works with many great artists, and he was in the United States and just moved back to Israel. And I was sure he was gonna say that he works with Logic or something like that and Macintosh, but surprisingly, he works with Windows. He was working with Nuendo, and now he's working with Cubase, and he told me the same thing about Pro Tools, that it's like it's painful and it's like you can't really be creative. And for him, that's the number one thing. Like everything is quick, everything translates. Like every piece of audio, you can like move it to a separate track and it chops everything. So if you work with loops and stuff like that, it's really easy to separate stuff. So it kind of depends on what type of work you do. But in terms of creativity, Ableton I haven't had any experience using, but I know it's great. But yeah, definitely. First of all, don't be terrified if you don't have a Mac. I own a Mac right now, which I had. That's the first Mac I had since 2010, I think, and I had to resuscitate it every time, like a few times. It died on me, and I kept like bringing it back to life. But I'm kind of thinking that my next computer is gonna be a Windows. And
I resonate with that. I mean, part of the reason why I didn't explore any new software this year is that my Mac is from 2011 and I basically explored deleting software this year. Like whatever I could get rid of to keep this baby going. I was like, I kept the things on it that I know I need, and I didn't really explore new cool softwares because Zoom almost killed my computer. And also I resuscitated it. But it's nice when you have a Mac that you can still open, which I think Nati yours is also. Then you can kind of keep it going. But once you get to these newer ones, it's a bit more complicated. So I resonate with that.
Some time ago, I had an idea how to actually trick this Mac company and to have the same amount of equipment. I mean, like the same quality, is that you don't buy a laptop of Mac. You buy a Mac Mini, which is like a cube, like a small cube. And I'm actually working, even right now, I'm working from it now. And it's totally like half price, the same stuff you have inside. Like all the parameters are totally the same, but it's half price. And actually, I'm working since 1 year already on this beautiful cube. You see the cube here? Yeah. Yeah, there's like a small cube, and actually it's really mobile too, because you can take this cube, which is 400 grams or maybe 500 grams weight, and you take it everywhere actually, and you just need to plug it. I had a situation that I needed really to finish this project with 70, 80 tracks, and there was already deadline and big deadline and stress and everything. So I needed to work in some hotels. Meanwhile, there was some gigs to play. So actually, you just need one cable and you plug everything to the TV in the hotel everywhere, which has HDMI in. So actually, comparing to the same amount of stuff, which is like in the inside of this computer, actually it's half price. So so if you consider about having this as a stationary computer, it's really good, and you can actually take the idea was to buy stuff which is totally mobile. And actually I have like I call it like a mobile recording studio, that you can take 3 cases and some cables, and actually you can go everywhere to record. You just need some electricity, but this computer is really amazing stuff, and it's half price comparing to just a normal Mac laptop, so I really recommend.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I think we are slowly but surely approaching kind of closing up our session. I think this was really incredible and interesting to talk to you so far. I'm going to ask you, before we finish, I want to ask you each to really maybe choose a piece that you want to share that came out in 2020 or that you did in 2020, because I think this would be really nice. Uh, yeah. So who wants to start?
Adam, you got it?
Yeah, I can start. Okay. So so generally right now I have a clue that I don't talk when I play this music, yeah, because okay, so now I'm gonna share the screen. Wait a moment. Sharing, and I have it here, which I recorded actually. I don't know. Do we play it all, or we play it just part of it?
How long is it?
4 minutes.
Play it all.
Yes. Okay, as you wish, guys. So we recorded it actually 23rd of December. So it's actually yeah, it has 5 days, this song, and it was recorded in my living room with my band ZK Collaboration, and it's like a Christmas song. So uh, we recorded it actually, to be honest with you, on 8 tracks only 8 tracks. So just totally mobile version, but enjoy. And the Christmas tree. Okay.
Adam, you're too cool. You're too cool for all of us.
So that was the Christmas song, which is 4 days long, and we recorded it on 8 tracks. So you can record on 8 tracks even in your living room. But still, yeah, I think it was a good job, really fast job actually. What I can say, one rehearsal, recording and posting it. And it's really good to promote this kind of videos. We spent some cash for promotion on Facebook. So actually, from 5 days, it has 15 or 17K of viewers. So yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, but thank you very much for possibility to share it to you guys.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go. And
Yeah.
a little bit of a story about the next track. 2-3 years ago, Ehud, you came to the United States for performances and also for the recording with me. And we had a beautiful session with Corey Cox, Kaylee O'Doherty. Of course, also we're featuring Michael Mayo and Jacob Means, who was here yesterday. And we did this record, and it became especially part of the merch. Every time we would perform in different festivals, we went with our music in the DR in Israel, and it was never out. It was never on any of the platforms. And actually spending this time gave me a chance to go ahead and start releasing it. So last month, the Home is a Place is a track that means a lot to me. I kind of written lyrics to it, which I never do. I never write lyrics. And I've written it in kind of a dark place. And it was kind of a way to heal myself. So it felt very even appropriate that it came out in 2020. So this is the track I would like to share. And yeah, people, you can find it in iTunes and all over. Just been out for just a few weeks. So let me find this real quick and share screen. Here we go. Just one short minute. Okay, let me know if you can't hear it.
everybody has someone to miss, and how it seems that things will just get worse. So here I say, enough.
Ah,
Wow, beautiful.
You.
awesome. Beautiful stuff.
Amazing, amazing.
And this is also the soundtrack of all the videos of the Internal Compass 2020 Shalom 2020 festival. So you can probably recognize it from there. And congrats, Lihi, for the release.
Thank you.
We
And thank you
are-
for being on it.
That's amazing. We're so proud of you and we are so happy. This is also the opportunity to tell everybody watching us now that this is the second event out of the week of a bunch of events as part of the Internal Compass 2020 festival. And also that if you like what you see and if you like what you hear and if you like what we do, there is a donating link right below or right on the side, on this side or on this side or somewhere here or somewhere here. There must be a link there that says donate, and your donations keeps us going. So please keep them coming, and thank you. Jackie, do you have something you want to share that you did in 2020?
Yeah,
Or-
so initially I wanted to share with you something that I did here, only me in my studio from a long time ago. But since we're kind of on the theme of 2020 things and cross collaborations of people in this little square of this, I'm going to go back to the little chunk of the song that I played that Nati recorded, and I'll just play you guys the whole song. It's basically a 3-minute pop song that I wrote years ago with my friend, like I said. And it's an interesting kind of Corona story because most of it, everything was recorded except for the piano in home studios. So either we were at her house years ago, or the new vocals were recorded. She has this exact same mic, so her vocals were on that mic in her home studio. Nati recorded all of the drums in his studio. The brass was all recorded in a home studio. My cello, obviously, here with the same mics that I told you about. And my friend Asaf played bass also from home. And everyone just kind of sent me the tracks. And because of Corona, we managed to send it off to a pretty serious mixing guy in England who was not busy because of Corona. So this is a song called Waiting Line. It's short and sweet. Hope you like it. Just share a computer sound because there's no visual. This is like literally I just got the mix last week, so you guys are the first people to hear this. And let me know in terms of volume how we're doing.
If you want me, come and get me. I'm not gonna move an inch, 'cause I'm tired of
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks, guys. Itamar
Amazing.
Ben Yakir על החצוצרה. Itamar Ben Yakir on the trumpet.
Awesome. Wow, cool. It's just amazing that you guys are such amazing musicians and doing such amazing stuff. That's the best part of all of it. Nati, what are you going to share with us? And maybe unmute yourself before you share.
Yeah, you know, you have all this gear and then you forget to unmute. And anyway, so what I'm going to share is a track called Animal, which is a part of a collaboration I have with a friend of mine from back in the days in New York. He's a great singer. His name is Nick Horner, and we've been doing a lot of like back and forth. He sends me a composition. I try to like pair it with like drums. Sometimes I play on this specifically. He plays bass. I play drums, some guitar, like percussions, synths, and that's kind of I started dipping my foot in production, like pop production, and so I'm very excited. And so this is Animal.
It's hard to believe it, but I'm just a breeze from the great unknown. Let me be, I'm just an animal. Although my teeth may never show, it's hard to conceive it, but when I feed alone. Let me be, I'm just an animal. Let me be, I'm just an animal.
Yeah. Awesome. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Guys, I think this is the time to say, first of all, thank you to all of you for joining this conversation. It was incredible to just hang out with all of you in the same time. You know, this is something that I really hope will happen also in the real world sometime soon. So thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you to our listeners and viewers for being with us, and join us for the rest of the week. Again, donate if you like what you see or what you hear. There is donation link attached in the description. And yeah, thank you very much again, Adam Zagorski from Warsaw, Poland. Lihi, Haruvi, Laramie, Wyoming, Jackie Fay and Nathan Blankett, Mitzpe Ramon, Israel. Yeah, thank you very much. And I really hope to see you soon.
I have to say also, it was so good